Hi, Liz Ness here. In the video today, I'm going to show you how to make this really fun mosaic pattern. It's actually pretty simple. It takes a little time, not too much, but it is so much fun and it's so easy to do with Procreate. However, before we get into it, if you're a big fan of design, illustration, and photo editing with the Procreate app on your iPad, then you've come to the right place. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell to be notified when new videos become available. If you're looking for our product demos for Procreate brushes sold at the lizness.com site, that's in my other channel, and you can find the link in this channel at the bottom of the page. So let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, I have here a 12-inch by 12-inch canvas at 300 dpi. The first thing I'm going to do for my pattern is go over to my wrench here, and I'm going to tap Canvas and Drawing Guide, and then I'm going to edit the drawing guide. And I'm going to bring up the opacity for one all the way up. I'm going to change the color to cyan or something like that, and I'm going to bring the thickness all the way up because I want to be able to see what I'm doing. And the next thing I'm going to do, and by the way, this is a 2D grid, the next thing I'm going to do is come over here, and I know with a 12-inch by 12-inch to get the segmentation that I want, it's going to be 900 pixels. So I'm going to tap on that number, and I'm just going to type in here 900, and I've already got pixels selected, and it gives me 4 by 4 in terms of my grid size, and that's perfect. So when I'm satisfied, I'm going to tap done and done. Okay, I'm going to squish this down so I can see what I'm doing. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my palette here, and I'm going to select black. Now this monochrome palette is available on my site for free, and I'll leave a URL in the details below. Anyway, I want black, and then the next thing I'm going to do is going to come over here to my essential shapes, and I'm going to select a square. Now you can get these essential shapes. There's a bunch of them, and it's all free when you become an email subscriber, so I will leave the link for how to do that too. So anyway, it saves you lots of time, and I'm saving myself time here too. So I'm going to select this square, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just start using my finger here. And let's see, I don't know, I'm going to like dial it back to about 70, I don't know, 58%. And okay, that's a good size. All right, so in this mosaic, we're actually going to create, because we want to be able to have 3 different colors, we're going to create 3 different brushes. So 3 different pattern brushes. All right, so we're going to create the first piece of this, and it starts with a square, and we're going to go ahead and select our transform tool here, and we're going to make sort of a grid. And I have snapping turned on. Here, I will show you as soon as I position this right here. Snapping turned on, but not magnetics. I find that magnetics is a little bit weird for me to work with. So snapping, though, I really do like. So I'm actually going to grow this in size with uniform selected. I want it to go all the way to the edge and the edge here. So, okay, I'm going to, by using snapping, I can see the gold here, and I want to bring it up to this line. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this, and I think that's a little bit, it's almost there. Here, let's make this a little bit bigger. So as far as my grid line goes, I want this to be right on the line. Whoop, keep moving. Okay. Come on, Liz, you can do this. All right, there we go. All right, just like that. And when I'm satisfied with that, I'm just going to tap the transform tool just like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create a copy of this layer just by selecting the layer and gently sliding it to the left and tapping duplicate. And then I'm going to select my transform tool again, and I'm just going to bring this down, and I'm looking for both the gold line on the edge here and, whoops, and the center. And when I have that, I can go ahead and hit my transform tool. Now I'm going to go ahead and merge this layer down, and then I'm going to create another duplicate of this and move it down. So like I said, this is going to be like a little sort of check pattern. It's a sort of a, I don't know, rectangular rather than square one. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then once again, I'm going to select this layer and tap merge down. And this is my first step in the whole mosaic pattern. So I'm going to tap it so that I can rename it, and I'm just going to call this step 1 so I don't forget. Step 1 mosaic. Okay. All right, so now we're getting ready to go to step 2. So let's go ahead and create a new layer, and I want to have a different color. Now I'm going to later on change this to black for when I actually create my brush. So, but for now I want to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and tap this really nice wild magenta color. That's cool. I love that color. I use it a lot. Okay. Anyway, you can choose whatever color you want, but you just want to be able to see it. I'm going to go back to my essential brushes, and this time I'm going to use this triangle right there. Okay, and I think all the way up in size is fine. We're going to find out in just a moment here. We're going to tap in there. So there we go. I'm going to get this lined up just like that for the, oh, let's see, right, lined up there. Okay, now that looks good. And I can just cut across the bottom with my selection tool. So that's perfect. I'm just going to leave it like that. Getting it lined up on top and centered just like that, and big enough that you can see, that's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to hit my transform tool. I'm going to squish this back down so I can do the cutting. But let's see, maybe like to about there. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off the bottom first. So I'm going to select my selection tool here and rectangle. And then I'm just going to come below the part that I want to cut, and I'm going to just drag my rectangular shape. And I think I'm right about there for the line. I'm going to go right up to that line right there, and then drag my whoops. All right, 3 fingers down, and then hit cut. Okay, and that gives me a nice shape right there. That's perfect. Okay, and now this is actually a really good shape over here too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that side this time. So with rectangle, I'm going to start with my rectangle out here, and I just want to go right up to the center there on that line, just like that. And this time though, I want to, I'm going to drag my 3 fingers down. This time I want to go ahead and cut and paste. And now it's a new layer, and I already have my transform tool selected, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, I think I flip it vertical. Yep, perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to select that transform tool. Okay, so this is great. This is my next shape that I need, and I'm just going to go ahead and merge that down. And I just want to double check it and make sure that I don't have any lines there that like maybe I made a mistake or something like that. So I'm going to select my transform tool. I'm just going to drag. Ooh, there is a line. Okay, that is, I was concerned about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and reset that. And actually, let's go ahead and undo. And we're going to undo until it becomes 2 layers again. Okay, and then I want to, I'm going to go ahead and select this top one. And then I'm just going to bump it over 1, maybe 2. Okay, yeah, just like that. Okay, and now I'll merge it down. Okay, and I'm going to look at it again because I just want to make sure. Okay, very nice. Okay, so I'm going to hit reset. It'll put it right back in position for me. That is great. Okay, and it goes right up into the corner. That's exactly what I want. So perfect. All right, let's bring this down again so we can see what we're doing. And we're just going to duplicate this all the way down too. So let's go ahead and get to that. So duplicate the layer, and then we're just going to bring it down to here. And I've got snapping on, so I'm looking for, I want it to be all lined up just like that. Okay. And once it is, I'm going to go ahead and tap that layer and merge down and tap duplicate. Okay, and now I can move this one down. And again, looking for it to line up everywhere. You get the blue and the gold lines, and that's perfect. Okay, once again, I'm going to be merging this down. These, by the way, by themselves are also kind of fun patterns, and so that's something to remember, and you can use them. So it's kind of, this whole thing is going to be really versatile. So, okay, I'm going to merge this one down. All right, and then we're going to duplicate it again, and we're going to move it over here. Okay, and we're looking for everything to line up, all the gold lines. Okay, let's see, just like that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and merge this one down. Okay, and we're going to name this step 2. So rename, and we're just going to call this step 2. And then mosaic. There we go. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we're going to go ahead and go over to our wrench, and we're going to go to add, and we're going to do copy canvas and paste, because we want a singular image here so that we can turn it into a reference. Okay, I'm going to hit the transform tool because we don't need to change the size of anything. So now this is what has happened. We've created a layer of everything right here, and I'm going to turn that into a reference layer. And so that will take anywhere where it's like a certain color, and I can lay another color over the top. So with a reference, we're going to create a new layer on top, And I am going to use yet another color. I think I'm going to go ahead and use, I'd rather have like a bright blue or something so I can really see it. That looks good. Okay, so with that color, I'm just going to go ahead and drop color where I'd like to have it. So we're going to do it right here, and then right here, and then the opposite. So right here and right here. Okay, so now this is actually step 3. So we're going to go ahead and tap our reference layer here, and we're going to turn off reference, and then we're just going to go ahead and delete that. Okay, and then I'm going to tap layer 4 here and rename it to be step 3. Okay, so that's great. Okay, step 3. Oh, mosaic. I guess I keep it the way it was. All right, awesome. All right, so now we have our 3 steps. So what next? So now we're ready to go ahead and create our brush. So brushes, I should say. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use the essential starters for this, and this is one you can get if you're an email subscriber as well. Let's go ahead and turn off these 2 layers, and we're going to start with this first one, step 1. Okay, we're going to come over here to our brushes, and we're going to create a new set. So we're just going to come right here, tap the plus sign there, and we're going to just call this mosaic pattern. And you can call it whatever you'd like. Oops. You might want to spell it correctly. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to have 3 brushes in here, but I need to go grab a copy of my essential starters here. Let's see, so it's down here. And we're going to do a texture starter. So I'm just going to slide this over and select duplicate, and then I'm going to bring this down so I can see the mosaic pattern there, and I'm going to grab this duplicate here and drag it up and dump it into the mosaic. Oh, it didn't go into the mosaics. It went into this one. This always happens to me. Let's see if I can get it up there in that mosaic. Okay, I'm going to bring mosaic just below that and try it again. There we go. Okay, now it's in my mosaic, my new mosaic pattern. Okay, so I'm going to have a couple of these. I'm going to have 3. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate them all now, make all the duplicates I need. Okay, and then starting with number 1 here, let's see, I'm going to come out here, and having it black and white just like this is perfect. We don't need to change the color of anything. So we're going to go ahead and go to our wrench, and we're going to say copy canvas, and then we're going to come to our brush. We're going to tap that. I'm going to give it the name first because I'll forget that part. So step 1, and then okay, and then I'm going to come to the shape, and it doesn't say I need to replace this one, so I need to go to grain, and it'll tell me replace this image. That's the one I want to replace. So I'm going to tap edit, import, and paste, and now it's got my pattern right there. So that's perfect. So we're going to tap done and done. Okay, and it makes, like I said, it makes a great check pattern too, so you can use this by itself. So done. All right, I love it. I love the way that looks. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next pattern. So let's go ahead and look at that. We're going to turn off this one, and we're going to look at that one. Okay, so I actually want the inverse of this. So I'm going to go ahead and change all of this to black right now, and then when I'm inside, I will double tap it so that I make sure that this is the part that is white versus black. So let's go ahead and make this black now, and I'm just going to do a simple trick here. I'm going to select that layer, put a layer on top of it, tap clipping mask, and then I'm going to come over to my colors. I'm going to tap black there, and then I'm just going to lay black down in that layer, and then it'll just clip it right to there. And then that's exactly perfect for doing the thing I need to do, which is tap the wrench, tap copy canvas, and I'm going to come over to my next brush here, tap it twice. I'm going to call it step 2. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the grain, and I'm going to tap edit, import, and paste. And remember, I wanted the white. Oh, this turned out perfect, actually. I wanted the white to be here, and it is. So that's great, because white is where the color will lay down. Black is where it will be invisible. Okay, so I'm going to tap done. Ha! Again, fun pattern just like that. Okay, now let's do number 3. So let's go over here and look at this one. Okay, we're going to turn this off. And I've got this layer already handy, so I'm just going to move it up above step 3 mosaic. I'm going to tap clipping mask, and then I'm going to turn on the visibility of that. So awesome. Again, we're going to want to invert it when we're inside if it doesn't invert it for us. So, okay, so come over to the wrench, copy canvas, go to that third brush, tap it twice, and then about this brush, step 3. Okay, this is great. Okay, so now I'm going to go up to the grain, edit, import, and paste. And it did, great. It inverted it for us. This is great. Okay, so then we're going to tap done when we're done here. Oh, this is right. This is wild. Okay, so it looks like it's broken up. It's just because of where the brush is laid down. It's totally fine. So it'll be fine. So we're going to tap done when we're done. And that's awesome. This is just so much fun. Okay. All right. So now let's choose some colors and test our brushes. So I'm going to go ahead and make this invisible. And let's see, we've got this layer here. So let's go ahead and turn off the clipping mask. And then let's go ahead and hit invert so that's white so that we can test this out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my wrench and I'm going to turn off the canvas drawing guide because I want to see what this looks like. Okay, so for the first brush, let's make it sort of, I don't know, a nice orange color here. Okay, and then so we're going to lay that down. I'm going to draw it all the way up. And so then I'm just going to lay this down. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And this brush, if you pick up and lay down again, you can just keep on going. It just puts it right where it needs to be, which is really awesome. That's why I like these brushes so much. Okay, so we got our first layer there. Okay, let's see. What do we want for the next layer? What color? Let's see. How about, I don't know. Let's go with kind of a green. Maybe a softer green though. Something that would go with orange nicely. Something like that. That looks good, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out in a second. All right, and then we're going to go with step 2, and we're going to dial that all the way up as well. Okay, and then we're going to lay this over the top. Oh, this is kind of cool. Okay. You can see the mosaic-y effect already. That's kind of neat. I probably should have done this on another layer though, so that I could play with the colors more, like if I wanted to tune those colors better, but you know, we can also recolor too. That's another thing. So we're making these colors so different. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, and I think for the last bit of our pattern here, I think I'm going to go with black, just because black, you know, orange, and we got some contrasty colors here. Why not go the full deal here? So I'm going to select black, and then I'm going to select this last step 3, dial it all the way up. There we go. So the sizes match. So because we drew them to match, we drew them together. And oh my gosh, this is so cool. Okay. So when I make these patterns, I don't always go the whole distance. I just, you know, figure things out. And so this is the first time I've actually seen it come together too. And this is just fun. Awesome. Okay. So that is it right there. That's your mosaic pattern, and it's totally doable on Procreate. I just love this tool. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you're notified when new videos become available. Meanwhile, I hope your day is amazing.